Tell us a little bit about Arizona.
Yeah, I have some history with Arizona. I saw them opening weekend at Globe Life. They weren't very good that weekend. They struggled. Chip Hell was just like, hey, it wasn't our weekend, but I have a lot of faith this team's going to turn out to be really good. His hunch proved to be right. I saw them a few weeks later at Minute Maid, and they looked much different. They were much more fluid offensively. Pitching-wise, Smith Bailey had a big weekend that weekend. They almost beat Tennessee, who at that point was playing like the 27 Yankees. And so the fact that they kept that game close and then beat the SEC teams, those two other games, was really impressive. But I think as you look at their road to get here, guys, they went 3-0 at the Eugene Regional. And then the Chapel Hill Super Regional, you think after the first game, well, they're done. But not really, because it seemed like, maybe North Carolina went in those last two games a little overconfident. But what happened is what's kind of been the story of Arizona's season the last half of the year is the starting pitching kind of took over. Owen Krimkowski was really good in the Super Regional. He's been, honestly, very good for the last 3 or 4 weeks. And then I really like at the back end of their bullpen with guys like Tony Pluta and Casey Hentz. Those guys are both, big-time arms. Pluta is kind of an interesting look. And frankly, just to kind of get to that, that's kind of my key pitcher in this field because I have a lot of faith in Owen Krimkowski and Smith Bailey in that rotation. But ultimately, when you get to Omaha, you got to be able to close games out in pressure-packed situations. And he's just one of those guys, man. When he goes out there, like he is locked in. He does not deviate from the norm very often, and he's very consistent. So I like Pluta there in the back end. And then, of course, positionally, Mason White, just because of his offensive prowess, obviously defensively, as we saw last weekend, leaves a little bit to be desired at times up the middle, but still just a lead hitter. I want to say 19 home runs, 70 RBIs this year for the Wildcats. So he's my kind of key position player. And I will mention one more guy. Right on brand, I'm going to mention two people. I'm going to say Aaron Walton. You look at his power numbers, his offensive numbers, but his defense last weekend at Chapel Hill was impressive. And so, Aaron Walton to me is another big key as well. But then one of the last things, if Arizona is going to win this tournament, it all boils down to the starting pitching. Their starting pitching is the reason why they're in this position. We all know about their offense, but if they continue to pitch the way they're pitching, I mean, they've got a chance to make a run in this thing and win the national championship. There's no doubt.
Fun fact on Mason White, third-generation Arizona Wildcat. Being here means a lot to him. He was emotional in the postgame after they clinched the Super Regional against North Carolina. So kind of a cool deal there for Mason White.